What is up, everybody? This is hashtag follow the conversation, episode 17, the CultureMyPeople.com's podcast, where we just hang out and chat. Drewby, no one can see you dancing, but as I just said, this is my co-host, Drewby.
The theme song, you wrote that yourself, right?
Yes, that is my original piece entitled I Am Not Too Old to Sell My Soul.
Oh, it's beautiful. I like it. It's a work of art.
That's all I have. That's why the music ended so abruptly that I've only recorded that part.
Oh, okay. Okay, are you gonna throw some vocals in there at some point?
I'm thinking actually about making it a dubstep trap eventually, but so far that's all I got.
Okay. All right. Well, how long did it take you to come up with that?
4 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. So
yeah, I've dedicated all of my life to that part.
Man, you just go in and you rewrite it. You pull a Fez developer. What's his name?
Phil Fish.
You Phil Fish. You pull a Phil Fish and just go in and this isn't working. You just go in and rewrite the whole game.
Yeah. I've scrapped that part many times. At one point it was Screamo, but I didn't think it was not working for me. So that's what ended up happening.
Screamo, it might not be your thing. I mean, I'm just saying.
Especially right now. So real quick, just to get that out of the way, that was PTL by Relient K. That was a contender for best song last year. So that's a great song.
Mm-hmm.
That's on my Mature K playlist. I'm going to start advertising my playlists on this podcast. I have like a bunch of Spotify playlists that I like to make. I call that one Mature K because that's the more what I have deemed to call mature Relient K songs.
That album, I mean, you say that song's good. That album is not bad for Relient K album, whatever that was supposed to mean.
I think that album was also on our album list of last year.
Yeah, but that was last year. We continue to move forward. We continue to look at new albums and new music, and well, you at least continue to try to expand your horizons, whether that actually works or not.
Yeah, speaking of which, I have a 2014 favorite songs playlist right now, which includes things like this. First things first, I'm the realist.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I don't know. If I can get down to Megan Trainor, then I guess you're allowed to get down to Icky Zigs.
You're all about that bass, no treble.
No treble.
Yep. So, if you may notice, I'm going to be coughing throughout the show. This occurred because, like someone that is 2 years old, I forgot how to drink water at some point this afternoon, and it was funny because I called my wife, and while the phone was ringing, I tried to take a drink of water, which I basically inhaled a large mouthful of, and then as she picked up the phone, I basically puked water out all over my shirt and pants, and was like hacking up a lung for basically the rest of the evening, including right now. So.
You've still got water in your lungs.
Yes, so I'm going to be coughing probably the entire show now.
Have you heard those stories about people who grow stuff in their lungs? Like if a seed or something will get in there, and then like it gets oxygen and stuff like that, that it'll actually like root and like grow in there.
No, but I find that incredibly scary. That sounds like Last of Us level crap.
Yeah, it just starts growing out. I guess I imagine the surgery to remove that is pretty intense. I mean, you're literally like hacking open their lung.
I don't know how many surgeries, like, is open lung surgery a thing that people, like, I feel like the lung is made in a way that you wouldn't want to cut it open as it expands and contracts. Like, I think it would jack it up really hard. Is that things people do?
Open lung surgery. I just googled this. There's a thing for it on Medline Plus. Lung surgery is to repair or remove lung tissue. Several common lung surgeries are biopsy of an unknown growth, Okay, so it's like something's growing down there. We don't know what, but we're just gonna hack you open and figure it out. Lung transplant. You can actually transplant the lung. Wedge resection to remove part of a lobe in a lung is one of them. There's a couple reasons here. I saw something here earlier. I'm going to check it out. I'm curious. What's the recovery time for a lung surgery? What do you think that might be? Recovering surgery for a small lung. Recovering at home for a thoracotomy, which is lung surgery. Maybe this is what we want. You can, before you leave the hospital, your doctor will review the results of your surgery with you and tell you what to expect during your recovery. I'm not seeing a time on here. So, yes, lung surgery is a thing, and they will hack it open. And, Michael, you can even get a new lung. So, that might be some useful information down the road.
From what I heard, though, it has a lifetime recovery process. It will never fully recover.
That didn't say a time. I guess so you're just going to assume that there's infinite time recovery?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm thinking you're going to be dealing with the effects of that for the rest of your life.
I can see that. I mean, but that's probably with any major surgery. There's going to be some effect that you're probably dealing with, like major heart surgery. Can you transplant your stomach? Stomach transplant. Okay.
No one wants my stomach. It's jacked.
Can one get a stomach transplant? Answer. Stomach transplants are not done, as the stomach is not considered an absolutely essential organ to the human body.
Heck yeah! Nobody needs that crap. Get it out of here. It's like a vestigial organ or something. Goodness.
Large portions of the stomach are either bypassed or cut off during routine weight loss surgeries. Oh, so that's a weight loss surgery. They're just gonna hack open half your stomach off. Okay.
That's my only other option.
Hmm.
I'm gonna have to resort to that next time I want to lose weight.
If your wife has been suffering from chronic stomach ulcers, she should be followed up by so-and-so doctor. It's got a ologist at the end of it. Okay. Who is internal? Okay, fine. All right. So you cannot get a stomach transplant. However, they can hack it off.
So you don't need that, Jank.
No. I guess there's not brain transplants either.
I think that's possible. We just don't do it.
Brain transplant. See, brain transplant, and then there's, okay, let's see here. There's a head transplant. I'm going to click on this link. Wikipedia, source of knowledge. A head transplant is a surgical operation which involves the grafting of one organism's head into the body of another. Should not be confused with another hypothetical creating. There's different stuff here. All right, let's go back to brain transplant. Let's see if we can find. Is a brain transplant possible? Answer. So in fact, the idea of transplanting brains did have some attention. I want an answer, yes or no. They're not giving me an answer.
I saw it on a Cracked article, so it means it has to be accurate.
Oh yeah, Cracked. They're one step above Wikipedia as far as
the scientific research of our country is all on Cracked. So, for the avoidance of making this a medical podcast, I am bringing back an old segment, and I have some Yahoo questions for you to answer. Are you ready?
All right, let's do this. I'll take a shot at these.
First question.
Okay.
Is Obama a skid mark in the seat of America's underpants?
Well, let's analyze this for a second. Skid marks happen when you get skid marks on your butt get thrown off when you're driving high speed. Someone throws you out of your vehicle, you land on the ground, and you start getting skid marks on your butt. Now, if Obama were to have skid marks on his butt, that means that America would have had to have thrown him out of the vehicle. And since America has fully embraced him as president, he does not have skid marks on his butt, and therefore the answer is no.
Please tell me that you actually know what skid marks means.
No.
Are you like kidding me right now?
Well, unless no, not really. Unless you're referring to tire skid marks, then no. No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, then I will explain this to you for the sake of keeping this podcast as poop joke filled as possible. Skid marks are the marks on your underwear when you don't wipe well enough, and you end up with poop marks in your underwear. Those are skid marks.
Oh.
Which
Not a real skid
honestly makes that question have to get thrown out because it's racist. All right, second question.
mark. Those are real skid marks.
My hamster is squeaking. I've had a hamster for almost a month, and he let me pet him and hold him, but now he won't, and he runs away from he. I'm reading this exactly as it's written. Did he get untamed? Did he just get untamed? Or does my hand smell different? Or because he just woke up... Sorry, or BC, he just woke up and doesn't want to be bothered. I was going to bed, but wanted to say goodnight to him, so I stuck out my hand to pet him, and he ran away, so I let him be and shut the cage. When I was trying to sleep, he bursted out his screeching, squeaking noise. Please help. He doesn't let me go near him, and it makes me sad. Close parentheses, colon. Which is a sad face emoticon.
Oh, okay. Okay, I was like, how much of that was in parentheses? Okay, so this kid's hamster is afraid of him. I'm going to assume that this is written by a kid. Although it very well could not be. My question is, in your sleep, are you tormenting this poor hamster at night? And that's why he is therefore terrified of you. If he was okay with you at one point, great! Obviously, he isn't now. Is it a girl hamster or a boy hamster? I guess he said he, right? I think that's what he said at some point.
I clicked on the page, but now it's gone. Him, yes.
Okay, boy hamster. Subhuman has been tormenting him, is what that seems like to me, and you need to do some sleuthing and find out who, whether that's you in your sleep, because it sounds like you don't mean to do anything like that. Maybe you need to maybe you guys just need some space. Maybe you just give him his own room for a little bit, just take him out, set him in the bathroom or something. Give him some space. Make him so he's not spending every waking hour of every day with you. Maybe that's all this relationship needs. You just need to spread out, just get away from each other for a little bit. That might help it out. So try that as well.
My suggestion is you just recreate the events of Paranormal Activity and record every single move that you do during your sleep, and you may find that during the middle of the night you may wake up and just stand next to your hamster cage and stare at it for 4 hours straight and then go back to bed, which would creep out any animal, especially a hamster.
That hamster has no idea what's going on.
Yes. Sorry, so here's another question, and this may involve you having to move your chair and stand up, because the question is how to dance at homecoming. So I'm going to homecoming with this girl. We are friends, but I like her, and I think she may like me back. I really want to dance with her, but I don't really know how. I know this may sound corny, but I want to make this a night she won't forget. So, Drewby, how to dance at homecoming.
How to dance at homecoming. Well, I didn't go to homecoming, so that kind of discredits me right there. However, I have been to I think it was called a winter formal before. I didn't know how to do it either. If you ask anybody who has seen me dance, they will tell you that they don't. How do you describe this? I'm not going to stand up. I'm not going to demonstrate for anybody. So you can just all just let that go. We're all disappointed. Deal with it. Life's tough. But there's got to be a YouTube video. Why are they going to Yahoo questions for this? There's got to be a YouTube video. I'm just going to say, YouTube it. You'll figure it out.
Alright, so here are my recommendations, which are you follow something that I heard in a Weird Al song, and you go to the DMV, and you practice your twerking moves in line at the DMV, and depending on the reactions of those people in front and behind you, you may realize that you are doing it well or doing it poorly, and you can go from there. That's just a start.
I will say this: don't twerk at homecoming.
Why? Do you have a reason for saying this?
Yes, it should be obvious. Everybody should just understand that you don't twerk at homecoming. It's a formal event. You want to go twerk at a club? Fine, go twerk at a club. Do not twerk at homecoming. If you want to make it a night she won't forget, well, I guess that's one way, but I don't think she'll I think that she'll remember you and not the way that you would like to be remembered. So.
Hashtag follow the conversation episode 17. Drewby recommends going to the club. Next question is, should I fake a sprained wrist? My school is having a homecoming parade. I'm in the band, and the band director says marching in the parade is mandatory. But before I knew that, I promised another club I'd be on their float. I can't cancel the club, but I'll fail the performance and have a low grade in the class because if I refuse to play, so I was going to fake a sprained wrist because the band has too many clarinet players anyways. Should I? Also, I was wondering how long a mild sprain would take to heal and whether or not you can play with one. So, their injury of choice, they're not even sure if it would ruin their clarinet playing in the first place. I think that's where you would start, just as my recommendation. Maybe you should fake an injury that would actually stop you from playing the clarinet.
All right. Well, you could break your arm. However, that'd be a little bit difficult if you don't have a cast, and they'll probably want to see a doctor's note. Well, yeah, I mean, even if you get a cast, you walk in, it's like, yeah.
I think if you have a cast, they're not gonna want a doctor's note.
Employers, I don't know. People are smart. I'm sure teachers have seen stuff like that before, at some point, where kids just walk in with casts and they're just faking something. That's probably something that has happened before. Well, how should you sprain your wrist? Well, I mean, I guess my real advice would be to make it work. Talk to both people. You have to I think you back out of the float, and hope they understand. Maybe make up for it another way. If you're going to sprain your wrist, how would you go about doing that? How do you mildly sprain or break your wrist?
If you wanted to sprain your wrist on purpose,
yeah.
I would recommend, as an average person, you're in the band, so I'm going to make some assumptions like you're a band nerd. Try to do a back handspring. Just do it. Don't watch any YouTube videos. Just imagine you watch the Olympics and you've seen someone do a back handspring before. Just try it. I'm fairly certain you will either get another head injury that you could also use to not play clarinet, or you will sprain your wrist.
Yeah. And make sure you record that as well. Make sure it's recorded and then post it on YouTube or something, because that would be fairly funny.
And email us. If you do that, email us at theculturemypeople@gmail.com.
Yes, I would like to see that. I would like to see you first attempt, try a back handspring, and then just see what happens. That's gotta be really funny. You should try that sometime.
Should I buy a puppy? I'm going to college soon.
No.
Nope, that's a stupid question. No? You don't like animals?
I like animals. Puppies in college, that's not the place for it.
How do I become rich and famous and a father in college? Boy, if I knew the answer to that question, I would not be making this podcast right now.
Well, this is a very interesting question. You're in college. Rich in college. How do you become rich in college? You could start a black market mafia scheme.
Yeah, don't pay for college. Also, sell drugs.
Sell drugs. Pirate stuff and sell it on campus for cheap. People will pay for cheap stuff. How to become a father? Well, I think we all know the answer to that question. Rich and famous. Now the famous, that's I guess is locally famous. Okay. What you do if you want to get famous? Sell all your pirated DVDs. Sell all your drugs. Then get caught for it. And then you just became the biggest crime lord in the city, depending on what city or what college you're going to. Make sure you do it for years and hide from the cops. Develop this elaborate scheme, and so you've got the mafia of college campuses. You can even spread out maybe your operation to some other campuses. and it just becomes a few things, and then get caught. Just slip up, get caught, you're famous. You became, and then now you, father, rich, famous. There you go. That's what you got to do.
If you want to be locally famous, there's lots of things you can do. Basically, you have to do anything that's going to get you noticed and get the neighbors who converse together to talk about you. I mean, it could be something as simple as like mowing the lawn every single day in your boxer shorts and nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
And like people are going to notice you, and you are going to become the talk of your neighborhood. And you may or may not also get the police to come to your house, depending on what you're doing. I mean, you could every time you grill burgers, you could listen to Oops, I Did It Again on repeat. Like, doing anything that's weird enough to get people to notice you will get you famous locally, at least in your neighborhood. If you want to get famous on the internet, that's something we haven't yet mastered, because like I said, if we had, I mean, we'd probably still be doing this, but you would. Right now I see that there are 0 viewers live, and I don't think that would be happening if we were famous.
Mm-hmm. Right. Also, my your idea is that that'll get you locally famous, won't get you rich. So I mean, there's that.
I don't know any way to get rich short of working a good job for a lot of hours.
Mm-hmm. That's one way. That's one way. Theft, drugs. Yeah, there's ways to get money.
How to exercise without feeling on the verge of death? Exercise more. That would be my answer.
You push past it. You'll get through it.
How do I format my desktop computer? You just take the stuff on the inside and then move it around. It's reformatting. How can I... FING, I believe that is a typo for find. How can I find the password to my Gmail account that I forgot? There's a little button. It says, forgot my password, or forgot your password. You can click it, and it will email your secondary email. You know what? We're done with this segment for now.
Or you take up your keyboard, you lift it, look on the back of it. Maybe you wrote it down there. That's some people do that. Maybe you did it.
You could go to like Amazon and buy yourself a fingerprint searching kit and spray your keyboard and see which keys that you press the most often, which are probably going to be LOL. So you can probably exclude those, and then you can deduce from the other keys that have been pressed a lot, at least the letter combos that you have, and then you can type those letters into a website that will give you combinations of words, because the odds of you having a password that is not a word or phrase are pretty low, and then you can enter those in and figure out what you got.
Or just watch National Treasure and use lemon juice. Not lemon juice.
Use lemon juice on your keyboard and then use a hairdryer.
Not lemon juice.
I'm pretty sure it's lemon juice.
Lemon juice goes on the back of the Declaration of Independence. He mixes up a little thing that with some chemical in it that then he uses to catch the fingerprints off the keyboard. Watch that movie. They'll help you out.
Iodine? Maybe iodine?
I don't know. I don't know chemistry. I don't know science. I don't know what this stuff is. Oh, nope.
So, I just saw something really weird that I don't know if I want to talk about on air. I'm just looking at my Spotify playlist, and someone that is dead has been listening to music on Spotify. Which is a little bit weird and slightly creepy. I'm assuming that someone else is on that account. Anyway, what's up? What's new with you, man? How's it going?
Oh, I'm a little tired today. A little worn out. Yeah, yeah. My arms are radiating heat.
That could just be a sunburn.
Or I could be the Human Torch. Well, you.
That would be the best outcome, I think.
It could be one of the best outcomes. I could have Extremis.
Try to play them on right now.
I could have. Alright.
Nope. Nothing.
Man. Okay.
Give it another shot.
Alright. Alright. I can do this. I can do this.
Nope.
No.
How
dude.
to Dance for Homecoming, Drewby. Give it a shot. That's how you dance for homecoming?
Yes. It will be a memorable night.
Can't just randomly do that throughout the night. For those on the audio stream, he's basically just like the same thing that you would do if you were trying to flatulate and then you finally got it out. He's like grunting and then just dropping his arms and looking straight up in the air like, huh. And I think he's attempting to fly, which I think if you busted through your roof, you might not get your security deposit back. Just saying.
I might not, but if I flew and busted my roof, I could make some money and then get that fixed. It wouldn't necessarily be that big of a deal.
That's how you become famous on the internet. Learn how to fly.
That would get you famous. No, today I climbed a really tall tower, and my arms are sore, and I got sunburnt. When I say really tall tower, I should clarify. It's tall. I've set a new record for myself, to 180 feet in the air. It's the max. 280, 300 feet. It's the max that I've ever been now. And a little worn out. My arms are burnt. My face is probably a little bit red. So, oh, I farted on the tower. All right. So here's something.
What? Why is that a weird thing?
Today we were up on the tower, and a coworker of ours was trying to get another gentleman who was climbing up to poop off the tower. And if he was going to poop off the tower, he was going to buy him a life supply. He was going to buy him cigarettes for life, basically. Well, I was up there, and I needed to poop. So I was like, hey, what are you going to give me if I poop off this tower? And he's like, a lifetime of cigarettes. I was like, that's not going to do me. He's like, take it or leave it. If I could have convinced him to buy me an Xbox One off that tower, if I had pooped off that tower, I might have done that. I might have actually done that. And it would have been one of the most epic things ever. But I didn't.
It's like, I don't care about nothing, man.
Yeah. I recommended that he buy you Destiny or something.
Lifetime of cigarettes or Destiny? No. I mean, lifetime of cigarettes, that's going to get expensive, bro. I mean, those cigarettes for a life, depending on how much you smoke, I mean, that's ridiculous. I think the Xbox One would have been really low. So,
I'm going to suggest that you do not smoke cigarettes as they are bad for you. Don't do them.
I don't think you need to worry about
Don't do drugs.
I got it.
Roll another.
Don't do drugs.
So, yeah, there's that. New TV show dropped this week. Episode 1 of Gotham. I have not seen it yet, and I probably would have seen it if I had time before this show. But
you bring it up. I didn't see it either. Now we can't talk about it.
Yeah, I know, but it's out, so people need to check it out. Hopefully I'll watch it before our next. Arrow Season 2.
You could be recommending like the most garbage show on earth. You don't know.
I could be. I'm just saying it's out. I'm not even necessarily recommending it. I'm just saying, hey, the show's out, people. So. And go watch it. So I guess maybe I am recommending it. I don't know. Arrow Season 3 coming out. 2 weeks. We got a countdown at work. It's all written up on this board. Chalking the days down as they go.
Marker. It's not. Nobody uses chalk anymore.
It actually is a marker, but chalking it's still a term that people can use.
I guess we still say taping for TV shows.
Yeah, that's a thing.
I don't know anyone that tapes TV shows anymore.
DVR and the internet have changed how a lot of that stuff works. Did you record home videos and stuff? Or not home videos necessarily, but like my parents sometimes would record things, TV channels and stuff onto a VCR, onto a tape, and so we'd have like these tapes of like movies that were recorded off the TV. Did you guys ever do that?
Yes, we did. I had entire tapes of like when I grew up. First, a couple years of my life or whatever in Okinawa, Japan. So we didn't have any English TV down there. or very little English TV down there, I'll say. And so my grandma would send me VHSs full of the Andy Griffith Show, um, the Flintstones, and Barney.
Okay.
And that's what I would watch. So we had, like 8 hours of each of those shows.
8 hours of the Flintstones.
Word, dude.
Was it exciting? Was awesome? I guess that would be kind of an exciting thing. It's like, oh, sweet, I got another like tape from Grandma.
Yeah, no, I thought it was cool. And then I mean, you're a little kid. Like, I was under 5 for all of this stuff, so you could just watch the same everything over, and you kind of don't care. In fact, that's what little kids do frequently anyway. They just watch the same movie.
Do you miss that? Like, just being able to like play in video games, for example. My brothers like have one video game, and they put hours into it. I mean, hours and hours and hours, and that's the game that they play. And it's still like one of the coolest things. And then they move on, obviously, at some point, but they'll put a fair amount of time into these things. They're playing through.
Disclaimer: as someone that plays World of Warcraft, yes, I still do that, but I know what you're saying. I think that as you get, I like to pretend that we have a more sophisticated palate and we need variety, but secretly we may just be consumer driven and not content anymore. So interpret that as you see fit.
Yeah, that could be a thing. They play like Lego Batman 2, and they're like, yeah, we're working on getting all of these characters, and there's a lot of characters that. I mean, it's not necessarily this show isn't about video games, but like that applies to other mediums, I think as well. Like, I guess for us it applied more to video games probably because that's what we did a lot of time with. But things were a lot simpler when we were children, and now they're not nearly so simple, and we have to, I guess, deal. The fact that we're consumer driven, that very well could be just the thing. It's like, I'm not content with this anymore. I gotta go buy something else.
I mean, when I was a kid, I could listen to the same album over and over until I had every single song memorized, front to back, and that was what I would do because I could not buy albums very often. I didn't have a ton of money. And when I was a kid, I wasn't allowed to listen to a lot of music. So when I got a new album, I would do the same thing like I would do with a game, just like completely and utterly digest that album as much as possible. Whereas now, one of my goals this year or last year that I did better on, I'm trying to this year, is to listen to at least one new album every week. So obviously, I'm not getting that level of ingestion of that content, but we like to pretend it's sophistication.
Man, we all got.
On some level, it's obvious that our tastes expands, and we can learn to better analyze the things. At least that's something I do. Better analyze the things that I listen to, but at the same time, yeah, some of it's just probably being non-content.
Yeah, I mean, the simplicity of being a child. So, I guess that must be nice.
It's valid. It has pluses and minuses. You don't know how jacked up everything is. That's a plus.
Yeah, living in ignorance is a plus. So, there's your deep hour for this episode.
Now we're all sad. I'm gonna ask you to do me a favor, which is unlike something I've done on the live shows. Excuse me. Which is I really, 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 I have a Powerade in the fridge, and I really want to. So if you can talk for like the 30 seconds that it'll take me to go get a Powerade, that would be super awesome.
Okay. All right.
So your talking point will be, why? I can't ask you a video game question. Let's see. What is a question I can ask you? Why? Who's your favorite band and why? And then when I come back, I will. Prove you wrong. Whatever you're saying. It's a preference. Your preference is wrong.
Except for the fact that my preference is probably going to be Switchfoot because I think that they write good music and he's not going to argue that because Switchfoot is good music as well. The fact that it did take him like 30 seconds, oh wow. That did not take him 30 seconds at all. What the heck was up with that? That was not 30 seconds, bro. That was...
The Powerade was on the table. It was not in the fridge.
So it's not cold.
No, it was not cold when I bought it either.
Yeah. So, yeah, you just buy a non-cold Powerade and then don't put it in the fridge, so you just make a room temperature Powerade. You're doing it wrong.
I mean, even if I did put it in the fridge, I bought it like 20 minutes ago. It would not be cold. What was the answer to the question? Did you pick a favorite band?
Yes, I did pick a favorite band. And it's very simple. Favorite band, I'll say Switchfoot, and it's because I think they write good music. Now, prove me wrong.
Did you switch from... I really didn't care. I'm not going to change your preferences. Why did you pick Switchfoot? You used to be Relient K. You just changed your mind as you got older?
As we grow older, we become more enlightened. For a long time, Relient K was my favorite band because was the first real kind of Christian rock album that I ever listened to. As far as like that I owned, I listened to it, but that was like my first CD of kind of, as like into like the Christian rock scene, and that CD is good. I liked it, and I just kind of stuck with them. I listened to some of their older stuff, and that just kind of went from there. I know we've had conversations in the past that your first band or something like that is probably your favorite because they're the one that it means something to you. It's special for that reason that through this CD or through this band I became interested into this type of music, and that itself is, I guess, is special. As I got older, though, Relient K became less and less good as artists. I like still some of their stuff, but I recognize the validity and the superiority of Switchfoot as a band. John Foreman as a lyricist, as a artist, as a musician, writes good songs and I appreciate them more. And I, like you, Michael, probably not to the extent, but I like a lot of their stuff, and so it's just something that as I became more enlightened, that I moved over and just like, no, Switchfoot, bro, Switchfoot. So,
speaking of Relient K, and they just announced that they're doing a reunion or a 10-year anniversary tour for that album, right? 10-year?
Yes, they are. That's actually something that has happened since the last show we did. They are doing. They're doing a tour for their 10 years since came out. They've got Dave Douglas, who was their old drummer back in the day, to be their drummer again. I think they've got John Schneck, who was their bassist, I think. He's back. And then you got Matt Thiessen and Matt... Matthew Hoops, yes. And so you're kind of getting your original. You're back in the day. I mean, Dave Douglas was the drummer from Anatomy of the Tongue in Cheek, which is an old album. I think 2003. I think 2003, 2002. So he's kind of an older Relient K, and they're going to be touring. Something else I want to bring up concerning this tour is there's the option for people to go and demand Relient K to come to your city. WeDemand.com//Relient K. And you can go there and demand them. I tweeted from this. I demanded them. I joined to try and get them to come to Omaha, Nebraska. Which they have been here before. I've seen them in concert before. I tweeted out the other day, I think it was last week, just to share the link with people. Relient K themselves retweeted my tweet from this, and I became internet famous, and it was great. It was one of my happiest days.
Like, what, 15 retweets?
Yeah, oh, no, way more than that. I haven't checked in a little bit. I'll check that out. But I think it was some close to 30 retweets.
In the meantime, what is your thoughts on this event? Are you do you think this is a good or bad thing for them?
I think it's them trying to kind of raise some popularity for themselves again. They're going back to an old CD, probably I think the best CD that they had, and they're trying to gain some momentum again. Their last CD, I think it was good, but I don't know how well it did in the overall market, and so maybe this is telling of that. Maybe this is them just looking for material and just something to do as a band. They've had members leave before. I think you mentioned that Matt Thiessen and Matt Hoops are like the only two real like consistent members of that band. They kind of have musicians in and out, and I don't even know if they have more musicians than those two right now. So, I don't know. I mean, it's awesome that they're coming, and I really hope that they can come to Omaha and I can go see the show. But it's a bad. It seems like maybe if they're fighting for some.
There's some smoke and fire there to show that they're suffering. I think it just seems like a desperation.
This is. I
mean, even when we saw them in concert, the songs that got the most cheering were all the ones from that album. It's almost like people kind of never moved on, which is sad.
Yeah, it's sad for them that no one continued to follow along with their albums. Although their albums were not near, I don't know that were as good as. I like some of their stuff. Two Left Don't Make a Right, which is is a good CD. The new one that they released, Collapsible Lung, that one is not bad. They released an album, Birds and the B-Sides, which is just a giant EP. It wasn't necessarily a good album, but there's some good stuff on that album. Curl Up and Die is one of my favorite songs on that album. To tell you a lot about me. Then you've got is the one after 5 Score Forget, is it actually called Forget and Not Slow Down? I don't remember the name of that album. Okay.
Yes, Forget Not Slow Down.
Okay. So
I recommend you listen to if you like the song Curl Up and Die, I would recommend you listen to Can't Complain. It's the antithesis of that song.
But I can't complain. I can't complain. So anyway, for 30 retweets off of my tweet, I think that's also including Relient K's, and then that might not be, and then 13 favorites. My inbox was kind of blowing up for a little bit. It was awesome. It was
because that's what we consider internet famous here. As a trivia, can you guess the first rock, album I ever owned?
This might be super obvious, but I would probably go with The Beautiful Let Down by Switchfoot.
That would be an accurate thing.
Yeah, I thought I'm pretty sure you told me that before, so. Look at me remembering past conversations.
Yeah, so this is something I have not mentioned on the show yet. I got satellite radio because I wanted to. I've always thought it was a cool idea, the idea that there was radio stations that you could broadcast into space and could get everywhere. And then I always am looking for ways to hear new music to me. That is music that I don't know. Also, just new music, period. Whoa, I just beat my microphone. So I've been using that in my car, and it's kind of awesome. I have one of my playlists that I've been using on Spotify is a list of stuff I just found and discovered there. It's growing basically every day that I use it. Today, I found a Christian station which was playing this song.
Oh, yeah.
which that I'm a huge fan of Switchfoot, and you don't hear "Learning to Breathe" played very many places. It's not a thing that a lot of even Switchfoot fans don't all know that stuff. I mean, I guess if you're a big enough Switchfoot fan, you'll go back. But like a lot of people only know "Beautiful Letdown" and "Up," if anything. So hearing "Learning to Breathe" on the radio, even if it was silent radio, was very cool to me.
What's the name of that station that played that? You said it was a Christian station?
The Message.
Oh, that one. Okay, so it wasn't like a specific era of Christian. It's just like, well,
No, they don't have different decades or anything of the Christian stuff. It's just pop.
how do you feel about that song, about that band being played on a quote-unquote Christian radio station?
Switchfoot was labeled a Christian band for the first 3 albums. They were under a Christian label and everything.
Okay.
It's not that weird. Those albums, especially, they're not quite Christian contemporary, but they're a lot closer than any of their modern stuff.
The Beautiful Letdown was not a under a Christian label?
No, they switched labels for the Beautiful Letdown. That's when they became big, because I think it was a mainstream label.
Okay. Huh.
That, and they had a lot of popularity built off of, that movie, Walk to Remember.
That movie did a lot for him?
Yeah, it kind of got them out in the open. Everybody kind of started knowing who they were, and they got some. I think that's how eventually they were able to make it to a secular album. Stuff like Dare to Move helped.
Okay.
And this song. Which you may recognize as the song that Mandy Moore sings in that movie.
That's her name. Yeah, I was gonna say Mandy Moore was the one who actually sang in that album. Or it was a girl. It wasn't actually John Foreman.
Yeah, Mandy Moore sang, but yeah, they did their version. That's on their second album, New Way to Be Human.
Second? Yes. Yep. Okay. Little Switchfoot knowledge.
I'm not trying to say I'm infallible. I'm actually looking at Spotify. I have it in front of me. If you're wondering why I'm playing less clips this week, it's because last week we did a show last week, right? No, we didn't do a show last
2
week.
weeks ago.
That was when my voice was shot.
Right.
2 weeks ago, our show got muted on YouTube because evidently we played clips long enough to get copyright infringement stuff. So, I'm trying to avoid that again. But I have to play music as much as I can. It's my thing.
It's a thing. It's not your thing.
What? The thing I do is talk about music a lot on the show.
One of the things. One of.
No, it's the thing I do. It's the thing I do. Your thing is messing up common phrases, and my thing is playing music.
And we build off of each other somehow, I guess, or we don't. And hence we're not.
Yeah, you mess something up, and I say, "Oh, that reminds me of this song." Because it makes me want to encourage you. That's Up and Up by Relient K.
Relient K, pulling out the encouraging music, as opposed to.
Let it be known that I never question why I'm fat, because I'm sitting here with a Powerade and a root beer and a cup full of jelly beans, eating them on the air after just finishing Burger King meal. So I eat a lot on this podcast. I realize I don't do it as much on the video game podcast, but whenever we do hashtag, I always have to be sitting here with like snacks and drinks.
You have to be. It has to be a thing.
I mean, it has to be a thing as much as we have to record this show.
Okay, so somewhat of a thing, I guess.
So what?
So
You cut out.
Somewhat of a thing? I mean, not really the most important.
That's also my thing. Eating food and playing music are my things.
You have a lot of different things.
Drewby,
Mm.
why can't we be friends?
We can be friends. I don't know why we can't be. Yeah.
Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? I say we wrap this up. It's getting late. I'm tired. I'm gonna have to climb a tall tower tomorrow. So, Drewby, how can people find you?
Twitter.com/Drewby132. I mentioned that I tweeted Relient K out. I will tweet out a link to the We Demand. If you click on that link, I become more famous on the internet. So help me become more internet famous.
Okay, don't be a jerk and advertise your own Twitter channel just to become famous by advertising for something else.
Or ask me a question and maybe we'll talk about it on the show. Facebook.com.
Yeah, do that via the email, though. Do it via the email.
Or tweet. You know, we accept Twitters as well. Facebook.com/Drewby132. On my Twitter profile, there's a link to my Google Plus profile that I don't know that anybody actually uses, but I continue to mention because it's a thing. So follow me there as well. And those are the places that you can find out what I am doing as a human being. Michael mentioned earlier in the show, theculturemypeople@gmail.com. If you have questions there, and you don't feel like tweeting me, your loss. I guess you can just email, because that's archaic. So, yeah.
Ariana Grande's album is $2 on Google Play right now. If you get this in time.
Oh wow.
That's a good album.
Okay.
I don't know if I've played anything on the show today, at least from it, but it's a good album.
2 weeks ago, I believe you did our last show. So.
I probably played this.
Ziggy Iggs.
Speaking of Ziggy Iggs, her album is also $2, but I cannot recommend that one as heartily as it is not necessarily family friendly.
Okay. Well, you heard it here first, folks. Avoid Ziggy
Iggs. It's Ziggy Azalea. Sorry, Iggy Azalea. Man, I cannot talk. It's night. It is night.
It is dark. So.
My name is Michael Nip. You can find me on twitter.com/MichaelNip, MICHAELKNIPP, or on Facebook.com/TheRealMichaelNip. If you'd like to email us on the show, you could do that at theculturemypeople@gmail.com. Or you could follow the Culture of My Peep, or Culture of My Peep on Twitter, and tweet at us there, and we can answer questions, or you can leave us comments and stuff. If you'd like to find our show, the audio version is on iTunes. You can subscribe to us there and leave us a 5-star rating. Or we're also on the BeyondPod database on the Android side of things. We do have an audio version of the show if you prefer that and are able to, if you're into the podcast scene. Excuse me. As somebody that loves the audio medium a lot, that's kind of where I listen to a lot of my stuff.
Yeah. That's a great app. Some people like to use Stitcher. I don't like Stitcher because you can't download the podcast and just keep them locally. You have to stream all that. So BeyondPod, it's great. Check it out. Support them because.
That's more Ariana Grande.
No.
And Childish Gambino.
Okay. That one kid from that one show. That is not good anymore.
Troy from Community, which was good, and is now really garbage. Like, it's got canceled for a reason.
And it's coming back. 6 seasons in a movie.
It's coming back on Yahoo. Hashtag 6 seasons in a movie. Speaking of 6 seasons in a movie, I got a text from one of my cousins about the camo plaid this year. We have now done 6 seasons. So, as somebody that has also propagated the 6 seasons in a movie, this is that year. If we were gonna do that, this is the year to do that. So,
Wow.
I don't know what's gonna happen there.
A movie.
We started that when I was like 15.
Not wow. Not wow at all.
What?
What?
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
For we got to end this podcast because Drewby's drunk now. Anyway, so yeah, check out theculturemontpeople.com. It's a nerd culture website. We also do a video game podcast. But for this show, hashtag follow the conversation, episode 17. This has been me, Michael Nip, and as usual, my co-host
Drewby.